I suppose for you, busy time must be all the time, isn't it?
It varies because we've got so many strands now to the business. So the leisure side, obviously with the sunshine and things, we've had a record summer. But we learnt from our sort of mistakes as far as the floods went. And we're now one of the leading experts as far as accommodation goes for flood victims. So we work for about 100 and odd insurance companies. So when the floods hit, we get the phone call day and night to get them put into hotels and things. And that is growing massively over the last 18 months.
I mean, I knew you were affected by the flooding. Sorry, James, are you okay? Yeah, fine, sorry.
We got wiped out in the floods. We were in the high street.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, in 2007, we were under 12 foot of water and I lost every single bit of the business. Because we had a new backup system that went in at the end of June. The floods hit the 21st of July and the backup system didn't work. So I lost all my database. So basically we lost 8 years' work and things. So it was horrendous. We couldn't get into the building for about a week, something like that. But we were up and running again on the Monday. So I kicked my husband out of his offices. The chamber were brilliant. That's when you find out where your friends are. And that's, you know, one thing I appreciate most about Worcester is the business community and what they do for you. So I'm a Worcester ambassador, I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce and stuff like that. So Mike from the Chamber was straight across, he gave us the top floor. We got the team actually got moved in within, I think it was within probably 2 weeks. Somebody lent us a load of laptops, so we were working off laptops and we were able to get online and things like that. I managed to get the office we're in now to rent. I'd already been looking at it to expand. So we rented the office then and we moved in there the 14th of August actually. So we're actually resettled within about 5-6 weeks. So it was amazing. Real character building. Real character building that.
So, I mean, so you've overcome that sort of nightmare scenario. I remember Droitwich High Street when in 2007, you know, literally the street was full of water.
Yeah.
And I remember the bridal shop being that half the dresses were.
Yeah.
It was, yes. So you've managed to overcome that. But, I mean, what is so special about Hotel Shop?
What's so special about Hotel Shop is probably what I would say would be my team. Because a lot of them have been with me since the beginning. We're 14 years old on the 17th of October. So about half a dozen of them are still with me. They've grown up through the company. I'm a great believer in teamwork and developing the team and making sure that they want to come to work because everybody works really hard, so they might as well enjoy it when they get there. So we like to think that we're a fun atmosphere to work in. We like to delight our clients, go the extra mile. And it's more about customer service and teamwork than anything else. Because I believe if you get that right, the bottom line starts to look after itself.
And how many people have you got now working for you?
Currently we're up to 48, but we've got 2 nice big contracts starting next week. So I think we're probably going to have to take on more people. We're going to wait to see how it settles down. Obviously we've moved now more onto online. So part of our business is, 80% of the leisure business actually is online. We've just joined the Advantage Travel Consortia, so we're going to become a travel agent. The idea being the UK, the weather isn't always the greatest, as we all know. So we were always looking for things, rather than lay people off, we were looking for things to fill in those gaps. So last year, because of the Olympics and the really bad weather in the summer, we actually got into the insurance market and we've started to help out with the floods and things. So we're developing the call centre 24/7. And then the other thing people do rather than go on holiday in the UK is go abroad. So we're developing hotelshopUK as a travel agent. So we've got hopefully all angles covered.
And how on earth do you compete with online, you know, nowadays, booking hotels? How do you compete with these big online companies? You know, why do people book with you?
Basically, we've got good relationships with all of the UK hotels. My background is, I was corporate sales director with Forte Hotels for 16 years. I then moved on to Chorus Regal Hotels at the Granada takeover. So I got made redundant from Forte when Granada took over. Waltzed into Chorus Regal, helped them grow from 7 hotels to 116. The Malaysians then had started to take over, and they kicked out the board. So after 7 years, I was redundant again. So it was a case of, do I really want to go and work for yet another big hotel company, or start to do something for myself? And I suppose with my redundancy, I was in a lucky position that I had some cash. I didn't need to go to the bank. I've never borrowed from the bank at all. We've grown the business quite slowly, and everything we make gets pumped back into the business and develop it. Last year, we moved on to a cloud-based system, so we invested heavily in the cloud. We had a new telephone system, which is the latest state-of-the-art call centre equipment that we've got. So we feel that we're in a really strong position now to double the size of the company in 2015 and then double again in 2016. That's the plan. So we've got sort of some quite aggressive plans that is just starting to happen, actually.
Wow, so
Yep.
I mean, the future sounds quite...
Well, it's scary, but, you know, it always is. It's always a gamble when it's your money, but more importantly, it's people's livelihoods that, you know, I'm looking after. So, yeah, but I think we've got it right.
So you've taken some risks to do this. Then.
Yeah.
You've made redundant and you think, right, this is it, now or never. Don't want to work back for corporates again. If you were giving some lessons to somebody else starting off in business, say with a business idea, what sort of advice would you pass on?
I think if you're actually passionate and enthusiastic about something, you can make anything work. And it's more about having a bright outlook rather than having the glass half full. My glass is always overflowing. And just spotting opportunities and trying things, you know, having the guts to just go with your convictions and picking the right team, get the team behind you, and you're quids in. Yeah.
And what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Usually my husband and the hens, but what gets me out of bed in the morning? I've usually got so much to do during the day, I don't even stop to think about it. I just love my job, my company.
Wow, no, that's really inspiring stuff, yeah. Okay, so what would I get? Feedback from customers. Have you got any stories where you've really delighted people?
Well, our motto in Hotel Shop is you'll be delighted. So delight for us has been dedicated, enthusiastic, DEL. We've got something for everything, going the extra mile and all of that. So yeah, we get people sending the girls flowers to thank them because we'd organise their hen party or their group. We get people who've been with us for years that ring up to speak to the same people because, you know they always go the extra mile. We had a guy out in Argentina last week in our corporate department. He was stuck. So we were, the girls worked through till about 9 o'clock at night trying to find him alternative accommodation, talking to embassy, doing things like that. So, I think the fact that nearly every single hotel group we started with is still with us. They say that we deliver what we say we're going to deliver. We're different from other people because we're actually part of their marketing arm. We take an active part in developing business for the hotels, so we know when their peaks and troughs are. We don't try to push people in when they're already busy. What we specialise in is putting people in when they're quiet and getting people the best rate. So we're probably not the cheapest, but the least expensive place you can go on the web. We tend to do quite a lot of packages and package things up. We've got 98% customer feedback, positive customer feedback, because we do a survey. So every single one of our customers get a welcome home letter after they've been on their stay, and we ask them to fill in sort of a 3-question questionnaire. And that's, I think it's 98, it might be 97.5, but it's around about that. And all of the comments are on the website, what people say about us. They can't believe the price, they can't believe the service, how do we do it? The hotels are fantastic. And it's because we've got the relationship with the hotels. I know quite a lot of the CEOs, the MDs of various hotel groups have grown up with me because Forte was the breeding ground for, today's general managers and things. And it's a very, very small industry. And I like to think that I'm quite well respected within the industry. And I do what I say I'm going to do.
And your favourite hotel in Worcestershire?
Oh, you can't ask me that and put it on your website. I'll get shot. I love Worcestershire. There's no two ways about it. And I think we have got some fabulous hotels up and coming. Brock and Coat Hall, I could highly recommend for their food and things like that. St Andrew's House, now it's been refurbished. The food's always been stunning here. It's a favourite as far as we're concerned because it's local to us, so we have lots of our meetings here, staff parties. Now that the Chateau Impney's been sort of refurbished, that's fantastic. And I guess the other one that's sort of on my radar is, and I can never remember the name of it, on the way to Evesham, BBC Place, Wood Norton Hall. And the money that they've spent on Wood Norton and the food and everything there, it's beautiful. So, you know, from going from an absolute, you know, pits of having no hotels to being in the position that we are today, we're selling more of Worcestershire now than I've done in the last 15 years that we've been in business. And we really push it hard because we believe in the area. And, you know, there's nobody more passionate about it than somebody who lives here.
In fact, and are there some advantages for being based in this area as well? Why Wychhaven? Why Droitwich?
Why Droitwich? I actually moved to Droitwich about 30 years ago when I came down here to look after the Midlands for Forte Hotels. And I've actually never left. I just think it's fabulous as far as travelling goes. I've had offices in London, Newbury, Birmingham, all over the place. So when I was with the big hotel groups, I was forever travelling. It was really easy to get to the airport, get to the train stations, that sort of thing. And then when I started business, it was a bit of a no-brainer that I was going to open it fairly near to home. I wanted the dog to know me and not bark at me when I got in from work. But I just found it a really relaxing place to work. Everybody, the business community is particularly strong and very, very supportive. I always know who I can go to. There's always lots of nights do's going on. Sometimes there's too many. But certainly socially, my life's totally changed since I started the company. Since probably 2004, I've become a very active part of most of Worcestershire. Up until just a few months ago, I was area chair for the Prince's Trust for Hereford and Worcestershire. So I did that for about 10 years. So that got me out and about quite a lot and mixing with people and things like that. But because work is starting to get so busy and we've got such aggressive plans, I've stepped aside for a breather for 6 months, but obviously I'm still quite involved with the trust. We take on the apprentices and things like that. I'm a great believer in developing your own people, so we often take people in at the call centre level or even at apprenticeship level and then develop them through the company. I've got one who is my sales and marketing director now. She started in the call centre. She's now my number 2 basically in the business. There's another one in the marketing department, another one in the sales department. They're all over that they've grown and they tend to be more local talent. So it's the majority tend to be Droitwich, Worcester. Rob, my customer service director, he went to uni at Worcester and actually did part-time with us and then stayed on, and he's developed through the company and he's now customer service director looking after 30 or 40 people. So I just, you know, the area, I just adore. Worcestershire is definitely for me. And that's coming from a Geordie girl. And my husband's a Geordie as well. So home's Newcastle, but our heart is in Worcestershire, yeah.